on the Run 5K Run and Walk is Saturday, May 19th at Walsh University.
Join Mix 94.1 and WHBC for a day of fun, health, and girl power. You can walk, run, or anything in between. Log on to GOTRStartCTY.com or Mix941.com or WHBC.com. It's a girl thing. Register today. Sponsored in part by Akron Children's Hospital, Atrium OBGYN, Carson Clifton Larson Allen LLP, Creative Source, and IBEW Local Union 540.
Now back to live from the WHBC Broadcast Center. Find out more about area businesses, agencies, and events.
It's what's going on right now.
This is Spotlight on Stark County with Pam Cook and Gary Rivers.
Seems like we just did this a day or so ago, didn't it?
I know it. And Gary, I feel like last night we were here till, 11 o'clock last night doing election results together.
Like that. I honestly don't remember what time it was I left. But.
It was a busy day. But now we're here, and it's Spotlight on Stark County, our favorite show. And we always have such a good time with this. So Wednesdays, we're doing some special editions on Mondays, too. But today we have an old friend, and I don't want to say old. I didn't mean old.
Yeah, that just didn't come out
a good friend in studio with us.
A well-seasoned friend.
No,
that doesn't work
friend.
either.
And don't forget, you can watch us on Facebook Live right this very second at 1480 WHBC. Alan Rodriguez, Julz and Rodriguez's House of Stones. How are you, sir?
Doing great this morning. How can you not be doing great when it's such a beautiful day today? And I come into the studio, and is there any thought about maybe you could probably set up a studio outside on a patio somewhere and be out there in the sun?
Well, I've requested we move one to Fort Lauderdale, but the memo's not come back.
It's a remote location, yes.
Very remote. Yeah. But I'm glad to be here with you guys. This is number 3 for us, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And we always have such a great time and learn so much about the jewelry business. I think that's the important part, because I always say, it's not like it used to be. When my parents had a family jeweler, you just don't find that in a lot of places except for here with you.
Thank you. You're absolutely right. And it's interesting because the House of Stones, when I bought the House of Stones in 1987, July 1st of 1987, that store, I was a 4th owner at that time. And today, that's a store that is over 130 years old, which is pretty amazing, because the 3 previous owners were watchmakers. And we still have some of the original log books going back to the early 1900s. And when you look at this, someone will bring in a watch for a mainspring, and they got charged 20 cents. Then another person had their grandfather clock fixed, got charged 75 cents. But the cool thing is the names that you see on there that are names that we're still servicing today at the House of Stones.
So
generation after generation after generation. And which is really cool, because this is 42 years. This year is going to be my 42nd year in a jewelry business. And it's something I'm so fortunate that this came in. I had this opportunity in my life. I was at wine tasting not too long ago, and after the wine tasting, we were having dinner, and there was an attorney on one side of me from a pretty successful attorney, and on the outside you think, well, life is great, and then the other guy was a financial planner on the other side of me. And they asked me, they go, do you love what you do? Do you like what you do? And I said, I'm so lucky, because I'm as passionate about this business today, 42 years later, as I was the day I started. And they looked at me and they said, you're really, really fortunate, because they're both trying to figure out how to do something else.
Oh, wow.
What they were doing. And so we find what a rarity and what a gift that's been for me.
Yeah. And so tell our listeners who may not have heard the story of how you got started in the business.
How I got started in business? Well, it was right out of college. Well, actually, when I got started in business, is I ended up working. I was in college as a biochemistry dual major with the idea of going to medical school, because everyone in my family, my father's a physician, my sister's a physician, my brother's a physician, and so they thought, well, that's a natural way for me to go. And I was working my way through at Timken Mercy Medical Center at the time, up in the lab. And then what happened was I ended up taking a break from the hospital, because I was kind of questioning exactly what I wanted to do. And then that Christmas, I ended up getting a part-time job, just a seasonal help at Colin Hubbard up at Chapel Hill Mall. And then what happened was everybody coming in was happy, celebrating, feeling good, and I thought this is pretty cool. And so that lasted, unfortunately, just till the season was over, and then had the pleasure of meeting a good friend and Gay Gosser, whose father was Bob Gosser, who owned Gosser Jewelers. And Bob said, well, if he's interested in the jewelry business, I need some help. It'd be a good opportunity to learn about the industry working for a family jeweler. And so I spent about 11 years with Bob Gosser, and until I had the opportunity to move down to New Philadelphia and buy the House of Stones from Doyle Stone.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's an amazing story.
Yeah.
And to see that you're still here doing it and loving it.
Loving it, yes. And when I say crazy times, since the first of the year, 3 long-established jewelry stores have shuttered and closed their doors. And when you look at this, 80-year, one in business for 80 years, another one for 60 years, another for 40 years, and you say, what's going on? And what is the industry? How do we have to reinvent ourselves on almost a daily basis and still stay relevant to a modern consumer. But what's nice is the pendulum is always swinging back to where it was. You opened up this session with talking about the good old days in the family jeweler. Mm-hmm. And that was when tradition was, you would inherit something and something that you would get that would literally go through your entire life and pass on to another generation. And the symbolism of jewelry. And those are things that I've always believed in. We went through the fat 90s and 2000s when everybody, a lot of people were making money and they were spending money on jewelry like clothing and accessories and everything else. And it kind of lost its fundamental purpose. When we think about it, right now, this past couple of weeks, I've really noticed that we do a lot with First Communions. Coming on. Here you're talking, what is First Communion? Second grade?
Yeah, second grade.
Second grade.
Yep.
And the mothers and grandmothers that are coming in and sponsors coming in and buying. And this is what they say. They go, I want something that she can treasure for the rest of her life. Mm-hmm. And when you stop and think about that, do you have anything that you got in your First Communion?
I do. I know my mother got it from our family jeweler, but it was a medal. Mm-hmm. It was like a St. Christopher medal, or it was one, one of those kinds of medals. I still have that. Yeah, absolutely, I still have that. Oh. 50 years later.
Well, I don't know whether it's at the point where we are in our lives, but those things become priceless.
Right.
They're very, very sentimental, mm-hmm. very, very special.
Well, maybe, and that is the time, like you said, the pendulum swinging, because it has been such a throwaway society, and maybe folks today are starting to look and go, there is nothing that's lasting and staying. You're throwing away your cars after a couple. I mean, it's so crazy in almost every aspect, but it would be nice to have, a keepsake. This is something we don't even have photographs anymore.
That's
right.
True.
Right?
You go on your phone, you scroll through your phone. When you talk about that, when you talk about jewelry, and there was a gal who was in a store a couple weeks ago, and I was working with a couple, and she comes in, and I jokingly say she flashed me when she came in, but she was showing me her ring. And it was a ring that I did for her in 1989. This was, I'm not 1989, I'm sorry, 1979, and this was when I had first, shortly after I started in the industry in 1976, and here it's a ring that she's been wearing 24/7.
Wow.
And let's do the math. Is that almost 40 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost
yes,
40,
it is.
40 years. And you go to bed with it, you wake up with it. And I go, what is it that you own? What can a person own that they can wear like that for that long?
Yeah.
And it just becomes a part of them. We have people, we have a big service department. Our service department between both stores, we run about 200 jobs a week. And what we see coming through quite frankly, about 95% of what comes through our store was never purchased from us. And so we kind of learn what works and what doesn't work. But what I'm really noticing now more than ever are people bringing in family heirlooms. Saying, my daughter's graduating from college, and this was my grandmother's necklace. Is there anything we can do to kind of fix this up so that she can wear it? She goes, I haven't worn this for 15 years, and I was going through my jewelry box, and I said, it's a shame. And so they're digging up family heirlooms, and they're passing them on to another generation. Which is pretty cool.
It is cool, and the creativity part of it is a big thing too. I remember my dad getting all kinds of like tie pins with diamonds in them for 20 years of service at his job, and through the years collected all of those. And I remember my mom saying, okay, I want a ring made out of that,
We do that too. The idea of service and recognition awards, which that's another thing that's starting to get a little more interest, because with the turnover, companies now are trying to retain good quality employees. And with this younger generation, when my son graduated from the University of Dayton, the commencement, the speaker said that class would have an average of 17 different job changes in their career.
Well, here's your 30-day pin.
Right? Exactly right. Your loyal service for 30 days. But what's happening is we're getting, we're starting to see kind of a movement back from companies. It used to be where you would get your 50 years, retire, get your gold watch. And those are things, like the Timken company. I just did one. We just finished up a watch for a college graduation, and it was a 25-year service recognition award from the Timken company that went back to 1955. Solid gold at that time, but gold was only $35 an ounce at that time, and so now it's $1,350, so they unfortunately can't give solid gold watches anymore. But what was cool, it had the grandfather's name, 25 years service, the Timken company, and so that went from the grandfather to the father on his graduation, and from the father to his son. We just restored it, and it's really cool. So we're taking pins. They used to say, 5 years service, 10 years service, Hoover companies that are no longer around, and we're repurposing them, and it's a great way to kind of preserve a legacy that kind of goes back to our ancestors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, why don't we take our first break? Really fascinating stuff, isn't it? We'll be back in just a few on Spotlight on News Talk 1480.
The Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce joins us in celebrating as we share the good Stark County.
Canton deals with, much of the nation deals with, is the opioid epidemic. That is just a symptom of the hopelessness that exists in our society. The hope of our faith is what will cure things like the loneliness involved with addiction, the despair involved with addiction. My biggest purpose in life really is to bring that hope to others.
See the videos right now on WHBC.com.
Help create a special memory for your graduate with a gift from Julz by Alan Rodriguez in downtown Canton. Here's Alan Rodriguez.
Unfortunately, as busy as we are, the path of least resistance is simply to buy a card and enclose money. If you stop and think about it, when you graduated from high school, you can probably remember today at least one or two gifts that you received as part of that high school graduation. If I asked you the same thing of how you spent that money, it's highly unlikely you're going to remember how you did it. At Julz by Alan Rodriguez, we've always believed in a tradition and the memories of special events, and high school is really the start of a very long path.
A great gift idea for any graduate is a wristwatch from Julz by Alan Rodriguez.
Watches, of course, have been timeless tradition. We carry the Tissot in our own brand, Julz watches, which can be engraved in the back for that more personal touch. Make your memories today at Julz by Alan Rodriguez.
Crown keeps you warm and we keep you cool.
We're here for you day or night.
Springtime is sometimes a roller coaster, and you have to be ready for anything. Specifically, your heating and cooling system has to be ready for anything. So call Crown Heating and Cooling today. Crown specializes in keeping your home comfortable year-round with the finest in Carrier heating and cooling systems. As an added bonus, from April 1st through June 30th, 2018, Crown Heating and Cooling is offering cool cash rebates up to $1,650 with the purchase of a qualifying new Carrier home comfort system. That's $1,650 back on a system that will keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter, and whatever spring weather requires. Carrier, turn to the the experts. At Crown, estimates are always free. Call today and let Crown show you how much you can save when you turn to the carrier experts at Crown. Call 330-499-4988 or on the web at crowngroupohio.com. Ohio license number 27133.
Call Crown Heating and Cooling. You'll be sure you have the best. Crown Heating and Cooling. Call us now. We'll do the rest. Crown Heating and Cooling.
Your local Keller Williams Legacy Group, with over 100 agents, will participate in the 10th annual Red Day, Thursday, May 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Miller Farm, 1151 Mogador Road in Uniontown on the corner of Mogador and Lake Center Christian. This event is for individuals that are 18 and over in the MRDD community, as well as their providers. There will be hay rides, food, farm animals to pet, and much more. Renew, energize, and donate. This event represents the dedication of Keller Williams and allows them to give back to the local community. Keller Williams Legacy will be partnering with the Stark County MRDD on this amazing project. To find out more, please contact Shannon Bragg at 330-904-4282. That's 330-904-4282. It's the 10th annual Go Red Day, sponsored by Keller Williams Legacy Group to benefit the Stark County MRDD Thursday, May 10th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Hope to see you there.
As a proud sponsor of the Stark County Home and Garden Show, we have a lot to live up to. Hi, this is Bob from Bob and Pete's Floors, and we know that you have high expectations for your home improvement projects this spring. If flooring is on your list, we invite you to visit Bob and Pete's Floors to take advantage of our home and garden specials now through May. Free installation on carpet and 15% off your hard surface purchase. Find the perfect balance of price, service, and quality with Bob and Pete's Floors.
You gotta go to Bob and Pete's for Happy Feet.
We alarm our houses, and we alarm our cars. But when it comes to your personal information, it can be tough to know when something isn't right. That's where Discover Card can help. Now, we'll send you an alert if we find your social security number on any one of thousands of risky websites. And this service is free for card members. Just sign up online. It's our way of looking out for you, not just your account. Learn more at discover.com/free alerts. Limitations apply.
It's the little things, like waking up early to see the sunrise. Good morning, world. Or feasting your eyes on huge doorbusters at Peebles. Friday through Sunday, get 50% off almost everything in-store and online. Then get 60% off summer essentials like shorts, tees, and sandals. It's the perfect time to get a Mother's Day gift she'll love. And bring your special coupon for $10 off your $50 fragrance purchase, too. Fresh styles, big savings, and fun perks every day. Peebles. Little things mean everything. Peebles is part of our Stage family. Offer exclusions apply.
As soon as we're back out in our yard, we get company.
Dandelions, lurking crabgrass, and wheat-thin grass. But the all-new Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action takes care of them all. Now, with one bag, you can kill weeds, prevent crabgrass for up to 4 months, and feed for greener grass. Triple Action, so your lawn thrives, guaranteed. Only from Scott's.
Weeds aren't welcome here.
This is a Scott's Yard. Pick up a bag of Scott's Triple Action today.
Now back to Spotlight with Pam and Gary.
Welcome back to Spotlight, a News Talk 1480 WHBC Talk. Getting ready to talk some of the upcoming holidays and what you can get in the world of jewelry.
Yes, we have Alan Rodriguez in studio with us this morning from Julz and House of Stones in New Philadelphia. And I guess let's first of all tell everyone where Julz is located, in case they don't know, because you are a downtown Cantonian.
You're right. You know, I am a downtown. I've been my whole lifetime. I've been a downtowner from Canton. I grew up on Market and Colonial between 26th and 27th, and then went to elementary school at St. John the Baptist. And so we'd get done at St. John the Baptist, and we would hang around downtown back in the old days when all the department stores of 5 and 10s.
Was that you cruising the loop?
That was me.
That was you.
That was me cruising the loop. And so when I went down to New Philadelphia, the House of Stones is right on a square downtown. So I became a downtowner down there as well. And then in 2007, when we opened up Julz, we're sitting there, okay, where do you want to go? Do we go out to Belden Village? Do we go to North Canton? Do we go out off Fulton Road, and nothing really felt right, and I had an opportunity to come to downtown Canton, and for as crazy as it is, I'm probably the first luxury retailer in 40 years to hang a shingle.
Yeah. Yes.
And everyone thought I was crazy for doing this, but I'm so happy, no regrets. The store's done great. Every year's been a record-breaking year since we've been here, and we're having another record-breaking year this year. So I, it goes to say, what is it? What was that? You build it, and they show whatever it is.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, it's kind of a baseball field.
And it demonstrates if you can provide a service and stay relevant, and that people now, we're starting to see this movement back to small family businesses. We've noticed it quite a bit, especially with the younger people. Where they talk about the internet. We'll probably talk about that in a little bit, but they are.
But they're specializing in some really interesting retail establishments.
Oh, absolutely. And my son, who lives down in Clintonville and Columbus, was telling me how they love going to the small little family operated, whether it's a florist shop, the coffee shop, the donut place, whatever it happened to be, and which in this tech world that we live in, we've been really deprived from that for a long time. So we're starting to see that with downtown as well. In downtown Canton with Arts and Stark and Rob Hankins and all the efforts that they're going through. They're kind of wrapping up their big annual campaign, and we're keeping our fingers crossed because every year they fortunately made goal, and it always goes down to the midnight hour.
Yes.
So we're big believers in what they've done. They've done some great things with education, combining with the arts and education. So anybody that's on the edge right there, please, if you can, let's give them that last bit of support that they need.
So what would you say is your, I don't want to say your biggest seller, but what people come to you for the most?
You want to say things that no one else really seems being able to do. And when I say that, it's not really rocket science, because anybody that puts their head to it can do it. But what happens is that, for example, custom work. We talked earlier about repurposing things that people inherit. We sit down and we completely reconstruct it to whatever level we need to do. And we talk about custom. Our world now is more and more custom, because it used to be in the old days, back when I say old days, 1950s, 1960s, the wristwatch, everything was standard sizes. 8-tracks or cassettes, everything was standard sizes, and then people said, no, I want to start customizing this. I want this to be a little bit different. Even with Domino's Pizza now, you get online and you customize your pizza with like however many different crusts or anything else. Well, we're starting to see it in jewelry as well, and that's something that the independent jeweler is able to do a lot easier than the big corporate big box stores. That makes sense. Because we can kind of slip through the cracks and provide those services. So the idea is that's where our growth has always been. Our signature has always been that. Our area of customization, whether it's new items. Or restoring family heirlooms.
So does that slide right into talking, say, Mother's Day? You want to find that unique gift, something just perfect that's not the same as everybody else.
Exactly. No, and what it is, you have right now, this is our second busiest season. You have Mother's Day, you have First Communions, you have graduations. Yeah. You have, it used to be the big wedding season. The number one month for weddings used to always be June. That's actually kind of changing now. It's right now we're finding that our September, October weddings are really starting to overtake our May, June weddings in terms of numbers. But when people come in, like customizing rings, men, you think, okay, men, what are they going to do? Men who aren't big jewelry consumers. We have a cool program where we can take, let's say you're a deer hunter. We could literally make you a ring out of a deer antler and on a shell on the inside. You're a woodworker. We can make them out of exotic woods. We can make them out of, it's not traditional. We do, of course, the gold and platinum and everything else, and everything else. But when it comes to things that are non-traditional, and they are important and symbolic to you. And we can use alternative metals and kind of create those custom pieces for you when it comes to wedding rings. When it comes to Mother's Day, we have of course you have your birthstone jewelry, but not the typical 5-stone or 4-stone ring, depending on the kids. There are a lot of creative ways of symbolizing the family or extended family, and those are the things that we're really known for.
And we'll talk more about that and more with Alan Rodriguez and Julz and House of Stones in New Philadelphia coming up after the news on News Talk 1480 WHBC.
The Cavaliers complete a tidy 4-game sweep of the 1-seeded Toronto Raptors.
You know, they happen to run into LeBron James.
Banks it up! He did it again! LeBron James!
It's impossible for me to lose confidence in our ball club no matter what the stakes are.
Blocked by Love, his second.
It just came from me being me.
And have an opportunity to compete for a championship.
This is John Michael with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and you are listening to your Cleveland Cavs Connection, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
How can there be so many different names for the same thing? I'm Robin Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. Are you in the market for a new mattress and hoping to shop and compare? Well, this is your wake-up call. Other mattress brands have multiple names for the exact same model. They build one mattress and create different model names for each retailer, intentionally confusing you and making it impossible to compare. Why? Because they're more interested in helping the retailer earn high profit margins than in helping you, the customer, find the best value. At the Original Mattress Factory, we don't play the name game. We just offer great beds, no bull. Why? We believe in being transparent. We have cutaways of every single mattress we make, and our model names stay the same from store to store and even from year to year. Our prices are clearly marked as well and can be viewed on our website at originalmattress.com. The Original Mattress Factory. Thoughtfully made, honestly priced.
Ready for shorts and swimwear? If not, get in shape with help from Physicians Weight Loss Centers. They're there to encourage and help you melt those pounds away. Located on Dressler Road, Denise at Physicians Weight Loss will provide a free consultation and teach you how to get healthy and into those summer clothes.
Running low on the stuff you need? Time for a Target run. We're here for all the big moments and the little ones too, like Spa Day all day. Spend $20 on beauty and cosmetics, get a free $5 gift card. Or spruce up your space and get a free $5 gift card when you buy 2 household essentials, like paper towels and dish soap. Get low prices on thousands of items and free 2-day shipping, today and every day. Target run and done. Pricing may vary, restrictions may apply. Free 2-day shipping when you spend $35 or use your red card on eligible items.
Ferndale's Water Center is offering 0% financing on water treatment systems. Call or stop in today.
Tap into Ferndale's Water Center. Tap into.
This is WHBC AM Canton, News Talk 1480 WHBC.
I'm Jim Michaels with 1480 WHBC News. Now 69 degrees. 3 Americans sitting in a jail in North Korea are now free.
President Trump plans to be at Andrews Air Force Base at 2 a.m. when they return to U.S. soil, tweeting, very exciting. The president tweeting earlier, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in the air and on his way back from North Korea with the 3 wonderful gentlemen that everyone is looking so forward to meeting. All 3 Americans, Kim Hak-song, Tony Kim, and Kim Dong-chul, had been held at a North Korean labor camp.
Fox's John Decker. Residents and those who work in the city of Canton will soon be paying more in income tax. 56% of voters in the city agreed yesterday to raise the tax from 2 to 2.5%. Mayor Tom Burnaby says he believes business leaders bought in here.
Went and spoke to all of the leaders of business because an income tax affects business very, very heavily. We talked to them early on. We had the full support and endorsement of the Chamber of Commerce.
As part of the ballot language, the city's detailing exactly how that new money will be spent. The increase takes effect on July 1st. Also passing last night, State Issue 1, the Congressional Redistricting Constitutional Amendment, the Alliance City Parks and Rec Levy, and the North Canton City Schools Levy. New issues going down to defeat the Tuslaw Local Schools Levy and the Paris Township Road Levy. Latest effort to pass a .75 mil tax in Lexington Township has a 4-vote lead. We'll see how that holds up when any provisional and outstanding absentee ballots are added in. Across Ohio, voter turnout about as predicted at 21%. In Stark County, 23% of registered voters showed up at the polls. You'll find more primary results at WHBC.com. And the longtime milkman at the Lebanon Correctional Facility was spared time behind those same bars after he was accused of bringing more than 2% in whole milk into the prison. 50-year-old Ray Adams got 4 months house arrest and probation. He pleaded to illegal conveyance of drugs into a detention facility for packing those milk cartons with contraband like marijuana, tobacco, and cell phones. More 1480 WHBC News at 10.
Hall of Fame City weather.
Here's your AccuWeather.com forecast. Nice and warm today. Partly sunny skies. It is going to be a gorgeous day, a high of 83. But a front is going to move in, providing us a cloudy night. We'll also have some showers and thunderstorms later at night, so it looks dry for the evening hours. We'll stay warm with a low of 63, and we'll still have a couple of showers tomorrow. It looks cloudy much of the day. It'll be breezy and a little cooler. Still not bad, a high of 74. Sun followed by clouds with low 70s Friday. I'm Maggie Johnson for News Talk 1480 WHBC.
You won't put us on the floor when you paint. You won't line your birdcage with us. And you won't use us to wrap breakables. Many can try to imitate us. Nobody does news better than 1480 WHBC AM. Our news team covers Stark County like no other. Now back to Spotlight with Pam and Gary.
All right, second half of Spotlight on this Wednesday morning.
And I want to just say, first of all, before we get back to Alan, we did get a report of a power outage. This is on Market Avenue North between 25th and 30th Street. There is a power outage being reported to AEP. It's about 1,100 customers that are affected right now. They aren't saying what the reason is, but they are saying that they are working on the problem, and hopefully that'll be taken care of very, very soon. So have a little patience, and thank you to the very nice lady who called in to let us know about it. So we did get a chance to check on it, and that's what's happening there. All right, it is the Spotlight on Stark County, and don't forget, you can always watch us live on Facebook, as we are at this very moment, and get all the information about what we're talking about right here on our Facebook page at 1480 WHBC. And we've been talking jewelry, which isn't that just saying that word just makes you smile, right? Look at Gary. He's going,
I'm thinking.
It should.
Yes, it does.
We have Alan Rodriguez in studio with us from Julz and House of Stones in New Philadelphia. Julz right here. I guess we could call that kind of on the square, sort of, in downtown Canton. Yeah, pretty close, pretty close. But we were talking about gifts and things like that. I gave both of my sons a watch for graduation, even though they had a cell phone that they used all the time to tell what the time is. That was just like a tradition. And you talk about, that's like probably a backbone of your business, isn't it?
Well, you know, we've seen a great resurgence in watches. You know, you're right with cell phones, and there were a period of years where we saw our watch business go down, because these kids weren't wearing watches. But, you know, my comments earlier that I was talking about, you're starting to see a different mindset, and we've been selling quite a bit. What's nice about our watches is that we have engraving services that we can personalize a lot of our jewelry and watches in particular. So if there's a message, whether it's a watch for a wedding gift, a watch for an anniversary, or right now, you know, we're selling watches for engagement gifts. Like what'll happen is the guy will get the girl an engagement ring, and all of a sudden she comes in and she says, you know, I want to get him something special. But, you know, of course, men who are typically pretty conservative when it comes to wearing jewelry, they don't really wear a whole lot, maybe their wedding ring. But to get them a nice watch, they can kind of symbolically serve the same purpose as an engagement ring. And that's pretty cool. We're starting to see an interest in that as well. So engagement commitments aren't necessarily just the engagement ring.
That's awesome. So let's talk more about the custom jewelry that you do, because, you know, we were talking about repurposing and things like that. And I would imagine that some people just come in and they've got something on their brain that they want you to try and do. And how does that work for you?
Well, you know, there's we've seen some pretty crazy requests, and some of them that can't really be expressed on air. But
well, now we have to go see them.
Now we have to go to commercial. Let's find out.
Yeah, that's right. We'll find out in a commercial on a commercial break. But you know, fundamentally, and when someone comes in, to have something done. It's important to them, and we respect that 100%. And so, no matter what it might be, and it represents something absolutely priceless to the person that has it. And a case in point, we had a gal that was in a while back, and she had this old silver ring that had a red stone that was so beat up and so scratched up that it wouldn't have gone for $5. It wouldn't have gone for $2 at a garage sale. And it was her grandfather's ring, and he worked in a coal mine all his life. And how hard he sacrificed for his family and everything else. And so she brings in this ring and asks me if there's anything if I could pull the stone, if I could fix something up for her. Well, what we did was we pulled the stone out of it. We had one of our gemstone lapidaries completely refacet that stone to where it looked like brand new. And here was a synthetic ruby, so it really wasn't an expensive stone, but she ended up wanting to completely restore the stone. And then we put it into, about a $1,500 ring that she could wear, and that was something she could wear on her hand. And it was the symbol and a story that connected her with someone who was very, very special in her life. And so, we have things like that. We have gold teeth that people want to use their gold teeth, and of course, they'll come in with materials. You'll see elk's teeth, for example, a guy that was out hunting and wanted to have rings made for his daughters. And you're thinking, okay, how are you going to give a daughter, how are you going to make an elk's tooth look feminine? How are you going to make it look attractive? But it was pretty cool because the way it looked, it was almost like a pearl when we were done with it. And then what we did was we drilled it through and we put each of their birthstones right in the center of it. So when you looked at it and you put it around your neck, you didn't think it was a elk's tooth hanging down or a shark's tooth hanging down like that. But here it was something that was very, very special.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. That's very cool. I can't
What's the
imagine.
process for folks? You've probably got folks' minds turning now, and what's the best thing to do? Really, just call you, stop in?
Well, a lot of times, you say, how do I start? It's when we tackle project skill. Where do you start? And we'll get if you inherit something, and a lot of times you don't even know what it is. What do I have? Then I always say, bring it in the store, sit down with us, and then we filter through that. And then, we don't charge for that service because what we just do is we separate, what's good, what's not good. We put it in little different piles, and we tell you, what each pile means. Now, just because I say, with me, I at that point I remove the emotion. I say you either got precious metal or precious stones, and so we make those little piles. But then maybe there might be something in that little costume pile that could be very, very, very special. But at least what you have with it. Okay, then what we do is that we start saying, okay, labor costs are labor costs, but it's like taking your grandmother's couch and you go to reupholster it. A lot of times you're going to spend much, much more than what the couch was. You could go buy a new couch somewhere else, but that was your grandmother's couch that she sat in for 100 years. Well, when it comes to this, we're very cognizant. We're capable of doing anything. But what we'll do is we'll sit down and say, look, if you want to approach it this way, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have, $22 a diamond for the tiny little diamonds that a lot of people refer to as chips. So you set 20 of them, you have $440 just in labor. But maybe all you really need to do is set the center one, and you can do things that you could still preserve the symbolism of the piece, and we're even though we like nice things and we have a very high level of quality in our craftsmanship, we're still very value conscious, and so we'll advise. In the old days, you would just work with gold, white gold, yellow gold, or platinum. Now with these alternative metals, we're doing a lot with sterling silver, which you would never think you would take an expensive piece, an expensive gemstone, and put it in sterling silver. But we're doing some pretty cool things. We're doing a piece. I just did a piece for Altman Hospital's Angel Auction, which is their big annual fundraiser, which is coming up in a couple days. And it's a bracelet that we custom designed, and the theme is Africa. And so, of course, okay.
We just
diamonds,
had them
Africa.
on Monday, by the way, talking about it.
Okay,
Yes.
talking about it.
Uh-huh.
Did they talk about my bracelet?
They
missed that.
told us to go to the auction page and look at everything.
Actually, I've already put my bid in on 5 items, so I'm set.
So this is a piece that we created completely from scratch, drew it out, cast it. Our jeweler, Tim Stern, set what ended up being about 6.5 carat of diamonds, 6.5 carats of diamonds. So when I tell you that, you're thinking, wow, this is going to be a crazy piece. But the bracelet is sterling silver. Which you think, why would you put 6.5 carat in diamonds? Well, what happens is that when you look at the contrast, you look at the material, it makes perfect sense when you see it. And so I'm hoping it's one of those things that, it's not conservative by any sense of the word. Our style tends to be more contemporary and more forward thinking, but it's one of those things that we hope does well at the auction. I think it's like next week or something.
I think it's Friday. Friday or Saturday, right?
Yeah, I think it's this weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All I know is I got to go up and see if I've been outbid on the items that I've already bid on, so I got to keep up with that. All right, we're going to be back in just a few moments with our final segment on Spotlight.
Help create a special memory for your graduate with a gift from Julz by Alan Rodriguez in downtown Canton. Here's Alan Rodriguez.
Unfortunately, as busy as we are, the path of least resistance is simply to buy a card and enclose money. If you stop and think about it, when you graduated from high school, you can probably remember today at least 1 or 2 gifts that you received as part of that high school graduation. If I asked you the same thing of how you spent that money, it's highly unlikely you're going to remember how you did it. At Julz by Alan Rodriguez, we've always believed in a tradition and the memories of special events, and high school is really the start of a very long path.
A great gift idea for any graduate is a wristwatch from Julz by Alan Rodriguez.
Watches, of course, have been timeless tradition. We carry the Tissot in our own brand, Julz watches, which can be engraved in the back for that more personal touch. Make your memories today at Julz by Alan Rodriguez.
Planning on expanding or renovating your business? Did you know that 10% of a building's lifetime cost is in the initial construction? The remaining 90% occurs after the building is built. Maintenance and high-energy bills can cost you a fortune. There's a smarter, more effective way to build. Norman Eckener Incorporated's design-build philosophy is from smart to finish. The process starts with the needs and vision of your business. The Norman Eckener Design Build team then works diligently to create a business-ready space that meets your requirements and budget. Building from start to finish utilizes advanced engineering, high-quality materials like our Butler building products, and skilled tradesmen. All of this delivers a building that will give you years of low-maintenance use and superior energy efficiency. Business owners are discovering that making smart choices in their initial investment can create wealth for the future. Call Norman Eckener Inc. today and learn how Design Build from smart to finish can benefit your project. Norman Eckener Incorporated, building a reputation for quality since 1971. Visit us online at normaneckener.com.
If you're looking for a job, the Tuscarawas County Job Fair is the place to be. Friday, May 11th, 11 to 2 at the Monroe Center in New Philadelphia. Join Ohio Means Jobs Tuscarawas, Congressman Bob Gibbs, the Tuscarawas County Chamber of Commerce, and Goodwill Industries as we give you the opportunity to meet face-to-face with over 60 employers who are actively hiring. Don't miss the Tuscarawas County Job Fair, May 11th, 11 to 2 at the Monroe Center in New Philadelphia. Remember, Ohio Means Job Centers give you the tools you need to get the job you want and the employees you need.
If your vehicle's in a wreck and you want the very best, who do you call? Stancato's.
Hi, I'm John Stancato, owner of Stancato's Auto Service. With our 50 years of experience, we will fix the damage on your car and make it look new again. I guarantee it. Stop by for a free estimate. We are located 2 miles from downtown Massillon, or visit us at StancatoAuto.com.
Stancato's.
When you're hiring, you don't want to waste time sorting through dozens of irrelevant resumes. You want an efficient way to get to a short list of qualified candidates. That's why you need Indeed.com. Post a job in minutes. Set up screener questions based on your job requirements. Then zero in on qualified candidates using an intuitive online dashboard. Discover why 3 million businesses use Indeed for hiring. Post a job today at Indeed.com/hire. Search for greatness. Search Indeed.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Todd, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
Maybe I should switch to Liberty Mutual.
Visit us online to... Hey, stop echoing. Sorry. Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Now back to Spotlight with Pam and Gary.
Well, I don't know if Pam will be back. She found the website, and I think she's making a bid right now.
The Angel Auction is gorgeous. You're right, Alan. It is a special piece, and just so different. I think that's something that. When I talk about, I hate to say, the today's kids or anything like that, but
I'll say it.
Okay, they want something different and unique, and they don't want it to look, cookie cutter, and they want it to be something that's their own, right?
Absolutely, and we, fortunately for us, that's been part of our DNA from literally day one. In the early days. It was a little bit more of a challenge because people were going after what's the hot trend that everybody has to have. Everybody wanted that one signature look. And now it's the complete opposite. Everybody that comes in wants to differentiate what they end up making and everything, whether it's an engagement ring, and it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be drastic. In the old days, model making was a pretty labor-intensive, it was an expensive process. For us to make a model, just to make a model, if you came in and you said, I want to design this, and we would carve the wax, we would do the drawing, carve the wax, make the molds, you'd have $1,000 just in the model making, just to begin with. So custom work in the early days was a very labor intensive. Now with computer-aided design, CAD for short, we can sit there and we can design a ring, and then we can, with a 3D printer, make a plastic model that you could actually slip on your finger and say, oh, this sits a little bit too high, or this is a little too thick here. Then you just go back in a computer program, you change the parameters of it, where in the old days, that wax carving that would be hours and hours and hours of carving, you'd throw it in the trash and start all over. Here, a couple clicks with your mouse, hit the printer again, and then you can modify that right away. So custom design today doesn't have the premium that it used to historically, and it's very, very, very close to what you're going to find for off the shelf. So it's almost a no-brainer.
Well, that's amazing.
Now, and you were talking earlier when you were talking about the ruby, and you said the synthetic ruby, and I would wonder, there may be somebody out there listening going, I don't really have anything. They might be afraid to bring to you certain things for fear that they're not, this very valuable piece of jewelry or something like that. But you can do something with different things.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because sometimes we have to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah.
And,
I'm sure.
And it's a very, very difficult position to be in. Like, for example, after World War II, you started seeing a lot of the servicemen that were coming back from Japan, and they would go by the jewelry store and see these pearl strands in the windows. So they bring them back to their bride or their girlfriend, and then they'd be wrapped very delicately and preserved for that entire generation, gives it to the daughter when the daughter gets married, and she has it, and then all of a sudden the third generation comes in holding these things like they're the crown jewels, and they were simulated plastic beads that were found in some shop that went through 3 generations, and everyone thought these were grandfather's pearls. And so, how do I break the news?
Oh my!
And so, we're, diplomacy at its best, and so we have to be very gentle and very respectful of that. But you know what it is that I put a positive spin, because I say, hey, look at all the stories, all the things that this necklace went through, all the parties, all the celebrations, all the Christmases, all the Easters, and we build value in something that doesn't really necessarily have to have that precious metal or precious stone value. Now, on the other hand, when the gals come in, and we always clean and check people's jewelry. We don't charge for that service. We make it look real nice and sparkly and make sure everything's safe and secure and make sure we can anticipate any problems. So when the four girls that are coming in, they're shopping, and we go to clean their jewelry, and one of them, her engagement ring, which we go to clean, is not a diamond. And so we sit there and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to say anything right in front of these four other girls, but I pull her off to the side and I say, we're going to happy to clean this because it goes in the back in a shop. And then when people talk about, I don't want to ever be accused, someone says, oh, they switched my diamond in the back or whatever it is. But we said, well, this will clean up real nice, but I just want you to know that you probably know it's not a diamond. And she looks at me with this dead expression in her face. I go, oh my goodness. I said, here, she's wearing this ring that somebody had given her and led her to believe it was diamond. It was.
Did you ever hear from him again?
And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So we have to be very, very, very diplomatic and sensitive. And I'm fortunate because we have the greatest team. Both our stores. If we're working with a team that you're with each other more than you are with your spouses and or significant others, and so you want to, everybody loves, they're passionate, they're committed. None of our sales staff is commissioned. So going back to when you say that, I want them to have the same energy, the same commitment to whatever it is that doesn't have to be an expensive piece when it comes in.
Right.
I talked earlier that we were at a fundraiser and we gave away $50 gift cards. And you're going to sit there and say, well, what can you get for $50 in your jewelry store? You can get over 500 products and services in our store for $50. So if you happen to get a gift card at a fundraiser or something that we support in the community, don't laugh it off and say you have to spend $2,000 or something to come in. No, you can come in and not spend a penny and get over 500 products and services.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Well, we've got about 2 minutes left. Let's wrap up for sure and tell them the locations, where you're at, how to get a hold of you, and let's make sure that gets into everyone.
Well, our downtown Canton store is open from 9:30 in the morning till 5 on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then until 3 on Saturdays. We're closed Sunday and Monday. And it's we're basically open 40 hours. First Fridays, we're open every first Friday, which we had a great first Friday this last time. But for us, that way we have a full-time staff, so when you come in, you're going to see the same face. It's not going to be a day off or whatever it happens to be. And our new Philly store is open on Mondays, Monday through Saturday. So we do have a split shift there, and we're also open on Thursday nights in New Philly until 8 o'clock. It's on the square in New Philly. Great building, right across from the courthouse. It's a beautiful building. And in downtown Canton, we're the next block north of the courthouse on Market Avenue, right next to the Chamber of Commerce, what used to be the old Parisian, for those that might remember that.
And there's a PNC Bank right there.
The PNC Bank right next to us, and right across the street from
Carpe Diem and the new taco place that's really good.
Street Side, which everyone raves about.
It's awesome.
And in Annapolis, which people come in, they say they have the best pizza. These people coming from New Jersey and say they haven't had a pizza anywhere in Canton.
As good as Annapolis.
Yeah.
That's it. It's great downtown stuff. Well, Alan, it's always good to have you in studio with us. We love talking jewelry.
Spring weather in Ohio.
Spring?
The sunshine.
The flowers bloom.
Go play golf.
Weather can change in a matter of minutes.
Urgent weather message.
When the weather gets rough, AccuWeather on 1480.
Severe thunderstorm warning. Heavy rain. Flash flood.
Breaking weather.
I've never driven through a tornado.
Canton Radio's only full-time meteorology team.